Hello. Hey guys, Jordan Drew, Aaron Juandrill, and I'm just going to expand this to make it so I can read it. Reverend Timothy Avner. Welcome. Hey Private Nice Guy, yes, I am back. I'm going to try and finish off the Nobility. Finish off is ambitious considering it took me 24 hours to get to about halfway. Just setting some stuff up. Okay. Jump in there. Came to some fabulous and noble boys, Jordan Drew. Well, so I've got this chap. He's basically what I'm going to say is the finished standard for them. I'll get them all up to this. What I'll have to do is I'll have to glaze over the wood a bit more on the others. You still can't even see it much on camera, but it's more brown. I realised when like the natural light came in before, it will just look black. I kind of want it to have a brown hue. I want it to look a bit like walnut. Yeah, so 20 more hours might actually be it, but I'm not going to be here for 20 more hours because I have work in the morning. Grubnut says nice, thank you very much. Hey Double Dip, good evening. I'm also sitting playing some Blood Bowl. Great to hear. What team are you painting? I like your paint handles, thanks. Yeah, they're from Frontier Wargaming. They do like a paint case, like a big wooden paint case. I keep my paints in. These handles just come part of it. Stuck a magnet on and then, yeah, and then not going anywhere. Okay. We're also going to be joined by Warhannum, who is painting the Black Orc half of these. He probably won't be doing it on camera, because I haven't set all that up. But his are looking amazing. We'll get some pictures if you haven't seen them already. He is doing a stellar job. Hey, Matthew Nador? How you doing? You're painting humans. Very cool, very cool. Humans in this new edition look really solid. I was tempted to run a human team before. Thought, now I'll try the new shiny thing. Because, yeah, they look like they can kind of do everything more than they used to do everything. Especially with that thrower. Human thrower means business in this edition. Basically turned into an elf. Is anyone else working on anything? What hobby projects have we got at the moment? Also, we made a slight change from the last stream. We now have music playing that does belong to us, so if we can save the VODs, so it should be able to catch up. If the audio levels are funny, if the music is too quiet, too loud, please don't hesitate to say. We're trying to get it right. What have we got? I'm painting some ARC Troopers from Star Wars Legion. Dude, that is amazing. Always wanted to give the game a try. Reminds me I should carry on with my orcs, the Iron Crag Git Stompers. Amazing name. Superb name. Thanks for the follow, Carwolves. We got those set up as well. Yeah, I thought I'd try and catch up on some paint before I get the new box set. Oh, that's good. That is good. Yeah, we've all got a billion projects to catch up on. I named this stream Finishing the Unfinished because I hopefully hope to come back to do this on a more regular basis and try and get some of my teams finished. And also other projects if I'm paying, like, because I pay like 40k orcs and stuff like that. Waiting for my necromantic team. You and me both. I am looking forward to getting stuck into that team. Yeah, are you making any changes? I know some people are going to swap out the bed sheet. I personally like the bed sheet, but I am going to be swapping it out because I do kind of want some. I want some like spirit wraith things. Is your ogre the box set one or the other? I do have the box set one, but he is going to be joining an ogre team, which is arriving shortly. I instead printed out this guy from Titan Forge. He's 3D printed. Yes, I'm going to be pretty much doing him from scratch again. I didn't like where the direction was going. I didn't really like the gold. I'm going to try something different. Okay. Got most people viewing from YouTube today, which is different from last time. Bonsoir. Base looks good on the tester. Ties it all together nicely. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's nothing too special. Just simple grass on like mud. I tend to like doing my Blood Bowl teams like that. Don't get me wrong. Love an elaborate base. But I kind of like the teams to all be the same. Not much that into swapping stuff. Pretty new to painting. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't think that's bad at all. I'm kind of with you. I hate conversions. Like I love conversions. I wish I could do them, but I just every time I try it, I just feel like I'm just not good at it. I'm not good at the old green stuffing. Yeah, I'm gonna start off. I've got my palette here. I probably should have got a new one, but that is far too much effort. How long did I sleep for on Sunday? Hey HD. I had a decent night's sleep. I slept. I went to bed pretty much as soon as the stream finished. I woke up about 5:30, so it's probably about 7 hours sleep. But then I went to bed at a regular time after that, so I only had about 7 hours of Sunday. Went to bed, fell asleep again, and then got up for work, and it was fine. It's way better than I expected. At university, I would have a lot of all-nighters for assignments, just basically poor time management. But I tried a painting thing fairly recently, just with some friends, where we did a 24-hour one. I got a lot more done than this, but still not a full army. But with that, I was a wreck after that one. Like, that's what I was worried about with this one. I'm not sure why. I was just just destroyed me emotionally, that thing. Yeah, no, today, last weekend was fine. Okay. So yeah, with this, I'm going to use the red oxide. I'm going to get some glaze medium from before. Basically fix what I was doing. So the other day I had some practice. I'll say the other day, yesterday, I was practicing doing different techniques. So I'm just like, oh, the weekend was good. It was good fun, but I really didn't get a lot done considering the time. Like 24 hours, I should have like so much done. I'm surprised I didn't get a team done, but I think I just spent too long faffing around with one, like trying to glaze the armor properly, to trying to glaze the cloth properly, rather than just painting it. So I was playing around with some like glazes, and basically I came to the decision that what I was doing wrong was I was like trying to paint it, but with glazes on too dark a surface. And so I've been playing around. So I was trying this, which I'm pretty happy with. Like this is like basically over white. So I think next time I'll try something like this. And so I'm going to apply some of the techniques there over the top of this. Sorry, I missed a chat message. Hey folks, glad to be here and happy to learn to play BB with a GF soon, hopefully. Hey Chimera Chick. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be so cool. I haven't convinced my girlfriend to play yet. It's on the to-do list. I think Blood Bowl might be a step too far. Got into 40k 2 months ago, now figured on getting into BB as a side game that requires little investment. I totally agree. 40k is a spectacle game. I think it's something which I would always play just because it looks cool and it's so much fun to just throw massive dice and move your armies around with your mates. Blood Bowl I'd like as like the crunch, like competitive game, like where you got like an even playing field, little investment, like you say. You just have your team and you try and win. And I think I like Blood Bowl for that because it feels like you can have that attitude without feeling like a power gamer. Especially when you're playing like a stunty team. Like trying to win as a stunty team is like encouraged. In 40k it feels I like it more for like the narrative and the exploration because it's pretty pay to win if you're going into the competitive route. How is it I always lose a glaze medium? I lost this. Oh, okay, no, I found it. You're watching a lot of your content. Blood Bowl is looking very much more like a fun 1 hour or so game you can pick up and play whenever. Absolutely, yeah. Ben does most. The other Ben, I'm also called Ben, which is confusing. The other Ben does most of the videos. The podcast is his baby, really. I tend to help where I can. I love the painting aspect, and I love just talking about games. So that's really good. But yeah, Ben is absolutely smashing it with the videos lately. If you want to find out about a team, he will have a video about that team. But thank you, that means a lot. In terms of it being a fun 1 hour game, yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're playing like sevens. Sevens is like an hour. A full game of Blood Bowl is a bit longer. About an hour and a half to 2 hours if you're playing like strictly. You can get them done in an hour though. We've had some games done in like an hour. Yeah, it's super fun. And every game, despite your team, well, unless you're in a league, like your team stays fairly static throughout until you start applying skills. But every game is different. Like stuff happens which you can't account for, and yeah, it's really exciting in that regard. From my own experience, Blood Bowl's never been even. Then again, I coach ogres and flings mostly. Yeah, it's never been even, but it's always been a nice, like it still felt like competitive. It's designed to be imbalanced, of course, but okay, that's too thick still. Yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna try and like bring stuff out in the armor. So actually, no, I think that works okay. I want the red to shine. I want it to look like brown, and over the black, it really does. Yeah, no, that's actually perfect. What I want. Subtle, but effective. I just pre-ordered her the Necromantic Halloween teams, and she loves super spooky stuff. Still deciding what to get for myself. That's such a good shout. I love the whole like spooky, cute aesthetic, and that team is basically that. Just a little, you just need like little smileys you get. John Drew, lol, I assume ogres are very bruisey, like way into trying to down opposing players and such. Yeah, they are, but they're still associated as a stunty team because most of their players are Noblars, which are very weak. Ogres are pretty bottom of the barrel in terms of like ability team, but they're hilarious fun because they're the only team where you get 6 strength 5 guys, where normally you're only 1 or 2, if that. But you'll find most big guys come with the some kind of negative trait, which stops them from doing stuff. So like in the ogres regard, it's bonehead, hence the podcast. And yeah, that just means basically for them to do anything, you have to roll a 2+. If you got into 40k, imagine you try to use your unit. It's really strong. It's really good. It's gonna like demolish the other unit. If you roll a 1, that's it. You can't do it. Flat 10. My gift's birthday's around Halloween's. The team is like perfect for her. Oh, that's amazing. Sorry for that. Ogres win through casualties for the most part and the occasional lucky runt punt, but Bonehead and massive strength one Novelist hinder you greatly. Yes, indeed. It's like playing Custodies in 40k, but all your Custodies have to activate on a 2+. Into a Skaven, Lizardman, or Undead, I think. Though Chaos looks fun, but kind of one-dimensional. Just trying to kill players, that's it. Yeah, to an extent. Chaos have the advantage. And Skaven, though, to be fair. Less so Skaven. But still. You can get mutation skills, which is kind of like a uniquely Chaos thing in Blood Bowl. Which does kind of like let you level up into certain ways. And pretty wacky ways, because mutations tend to be pretty wacky. It is very much a game of punch and run, though, with Chaos. Skaven tend to try and avoid the punch aspect. Lizardmen is just punch, 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 and then until your skinks are in scoring range, basically. Skaven and Lizardmen always look cool. Yeah, they do. Love them. The Bonehead Ben, the boss man, he is an extremely good Skaven coach in Blood Bowl. What's the most brutally unbalanced matchup you all think? Snotlings versus, I guess, Ogres? Probably Snotlings versus Dwarfs or something. Because from the get-go, at least, Dwarves, they start with a tackle skill, which pretty much negates Snotling, any stunty or small player's survivability. Because it pretty much doubles the chance for them to go down. They rely on the dodge skill. Dodge kind of keeps you standing versus one of the dice. And all stunties have that.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Ian.
You alright?
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Just
Awesome.
to what you were saying, it also greatly reduces their reliability in dodging because they can't use dodge for the free reroll.
Very true, yeah. Yeah. So, like, even just getting away.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
tackle zones, yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Fun
So would you
stuff.
say Dwarves versus Snotlings is probably the most unbalanced?
Yeah, I think so. It's got to be up there.
Yeah, because I think Snotlings on their own are probably, like, the weakest of the stunty teams.
Yeah, I think so. Although, obviously, one of the difficulties is that we haven't really been able to see much in terms of like data.
Yeah, exactly.
Any kind of real impact of them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Be interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that does sound like a horrid matchup.
Yeah. If the volume levels are funny on stream, guys, I hear something slightly different to the output, mainly just because I like hearing the music, and it's more of a background noise thing. So if you can't hear Ian or vice versa, then just shout.
Consider yourselves lucky.
Yeah. What have we got? We got. Didn't think dwarves would be worse. Yeah, Chimera Chick. You have no idea until you've played how infamous dwarves are in this game. They're still a cool team. Every team is cool, but dwarves are probably the most infamous.
Yeah, I think it's because although other teams are quite bashy, tackle shuts down what someone else is trying to do. So
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of
It's like a nope, isn't it?
Kind of anti-fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of, no, you can't do what you want to do. Like, it's one thing to be smashing your players with all your own skills, but yeah, when you negate the kind of main benefit of a whole team,
Yeah.
it's a little bit feel bad.
It's the whole like Amazon's ogre, so the Amazon's dwarf battle, where it's like the Amazon shtick is dodge, and the fact that dwarves all come with a skill that says no dodge, or most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, in that if dodge is say costed into the player roster, just by dwarves turning up, they've cut the value of the team. Because no one actually gets to use a skill that you're paying for, sort of.
Exactly. Yeah. I guess you could say the same when they're up against a team with no dodge, though. When dwarves are up against a team with no dodge, they're paying for a skill that doesn't do anything. But who cares? Yeah. They still got block as well, so. What constitutes a stunty team? It's a bit weird, really. Think of it as halflings, nobblers, snotlings, and goblins.
I think basically what it is that the 0 to 16 player choice is going to be strength 1 or 2, and generally have the stunty rule.
But then Blackhawks and Lizardmen are an exception, aren't they? Because they've got stunty linemen,
yeah,
but they're not stunty teams.
Yeah, although they can be stunty if you don't take the kind of mid guy.
True.
I think, like some tournaments would allow a skink with a croc score team as a stunty team.
Okay.
And probably the same would apply with the Blackhawks. If you don't take the Blackhawks, you just take the goblins and the trolls.
Then you've just got a really poor goblin team, haven't you?
Yeah, well, they've got a pistol.
Oh, cool. But no secret weapons. Yeah.
So maybe it's a case of majority, because obviously with Storage you're generally running 6, aren't you? And probably with Blackhawks 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a little bit grey, isn't it?
Yeah, there's generally 3 tiers in Blood Bowl. It can be broadened, but in general there's 3 tiers, and I think in the new rulebook there's 3. Tier 1 is like your top tier team, Tier 2 is your mid tier, and Tier 3 is basically, like Jordan said, ogres, goblins, halflings, snotlings. I think that's all of them. They basically, it doesn't have too much semblance in League, I don't think. Can't remember if the new edition does anything based on tier, but it explicitly says tier now, which it didn't used to. But in tournaments, you'll find that like the lower tier you are, the more stuff you get to kind of help offset that. Because Blood Bowl is designed inherently to be imbalanced.
Yeah, which is nice, and it's quite upfront about it.
Mm. Especially now where they actually classify the tier.
Yeah.
Quite interesting.
Although I think that's one of those things that a lot of people see that as a nice challenge.
Yeah. Absolutely.
However, maybe it encourages people to have an excuse as well.
Yeah.
It could be said.
Very true.
You were tier 1,
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was playing Snotlings against Wood Elves, so.
Yeah, exactly. You can kind of diminish people's wins as well, if you're not careful.
Yeah, true. It's all fun though.
Yeah.
I'd love to see more teams with silly stuff like a literal sheet ghost the new necromantic team has. I think we will. I think with more stuff, like we had Snotlings come out very recently, which are all silly. The necromantic sheet is awesome. I think Games Workshop are really kind of embracing that side of Blood Bowl now. We've got Acorn the Squirrel, a star player that's just been revealed, which is just a very angry squirrel. It's basically the rabbit from Monty Python. Yeah, it's I think it's pretty cool. Blood Bowl's always been silly, hasn't it? So
yeah, definitely. There's definitely more kind of whimsical than
yeah,
Warhammer.
yeah. I want the squirrel. Yes, he's perfect in every way. He really is. There's already like quite a few models popping up. We've seen Rebo have released a model for him. I think we just saw Hogs of War release one, which is like a conquistador squirrel. He's basically a squirrel version of this guy.
He's had a spell cast. That is some of his lore, isn't it? That he was he a corn player that got cursed and turned into
Oh, was he?
I
didn't see this.
I remember someone saying about that.
That's hilarious. So he's actually just like a player.
I'll have to read a bit more, but yeah, I feel like there's something to it.
Slow down. Love it. Just imagine Lord Borat getting mauled by a squirrel. Yeah.
Right in his armor.
Yeah, it's got claws. What armor? Yeah, I am excited to see where it goes. I think we're going to see some really fresh new teams pop up. How are your Black Horse coming along, Ian?
Yeah, pretty good. They're all now kind of mostly base coated and washed. I'm just starting to layer the skin at the moment. So
Nice.
Yeah, good. Hopefully on course for release day. That's my aim.
I've still got an extra week, unfortunately. Yeah.
Well, kind of unfortunately, but it's nice that I don't have to stress.
Yeah. It's not
everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. It's great for me and me alone. Joindre is an ogre player. Lord Borak, he is a Chaos Star player. He's basically a really, really beefed up Chaos Lord. I think he got even beat. Or he got something. It was like a free reroll or something in this edition. He comes with like a reroll.
Nice.
Pretty cool. Yeah. I think it's like a whole team one as well, because I think Griff has one that only Griff can use. But I think Borak just straight up gives you a team reroll. Finishing touches. Interesting name. Yeah, don't worry. When it gets past 11 o'clock, we'll see where the stream goes.
I'm checking it.
Yeah, basically I'm just applying a red glaze over the top of the armor, just because it was way too black when it had dried properly. I want it to be more brown. Revarnish it. He's also the agony uncle for Spike magazine. He enjoys reading the petty woes of mortals, apparently.
Yes, yeah, there's I think it's Dear Borat or something. Not Borat, Borak.
Borat. I'll read Dear Borat. Do you have a picture of your orc so far? Or should I just use the most recent one you've sent? I'll stick up on stream.
Sorry, yeah, the light's not be good, I'm afraid. But...
Are you guys on EST or something else? You mean a time zone? We're GMT. Oh, banded. EST? No, it's a GMT.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Unless EST is some kind of drug, in which
some people call it BST as well.
Well, BST is summertime, but the clocks have gone back, so we're back in GMT now.
So Jack and GMT, there you go. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just always thought it was GMT and GMT 1 or whatever.
Yeah, BST is GMT plus 1.
Stop sounding stupid. Okay, yeah. So I just WhatsApp it across.
Okay, yeah. That sounds good.
Cool.
Oh, I'll also give some shout outs. On Twitch. Oh, that is actually Borat playing on Twitch. Lol. Okay, come on Twitch. Can you not do this to me? Cool. Yeah, so we had 4 people subscribe on Twitch, which is awesome, using Twitch Prime. We massively appreciate that. I'm sorry, I didn't have stream alerts. Yeah, I didn't have stream alerts set up, so it didn't inform me. I've got them now, so I'll be able to catch them. But in case they're watching, shout out to N-Star, Thorin White Wolf, Count Milkshake, and... I think that may have been it. Apologies if I missed it, but thank you so much to those guys. We really, really appreciate that. That's really big. So, evening all, those Nobility looking good. How much longer do you think you have to go to finish them? Well, hopefully I can finish them tonight. But I really doubt that. It took me 24 hours to get to this point. I'm not gonna get it done in 3. Yeah, I can try, but yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. A lot of it's been undoing and redoing stuff.
Do you think you're happy with your method now, though?
Yeah. There's things I'd have changed. But I'm stuck with it now. But if I had to do it again, I'd do it in a different way. I think I'd use the zenithal highlight a bit more to do most of the highlighting for me, so that I put on the paint quite opaquely. I think I'd thin it down and apply it like a glaze, like the purple and stuff. I've had to bring back a lot of the highlight. I think if I had done it really thin, most of that would have been done. Like I was practicing on the Nurgle yesterday. I showed it off on stream earlier, but like this. Like that is basically like a glaze over white, like and then one color, and then like a yellow, like the chest plate, and that's pretty much it.
Nice. Really
Yeah,
nice.
It's just come out so smooth, and you've got like the definition, you still got the shadow. Yeah, I'd probably do that. Just from like a speed painting perspective, I think that's kind of a really good result considering the time. So it's late night for you guys. Yeah, it's 9:20. Paul Thompson, I've got a few teams, but none of them are yet to see a paintbrush. Really bad, I know. I want and need to get one painted for when the world gets back to some normality. Yeah, that's fine. I find it's really fun. There's loads of ways to get into painting. Unless you are a painter, you just got a few teams. Because that is also a case. I have a lot of Blood Bowl teams that I'm painted. But it's definitely worth doing. I think the satisfaction of like finishing a team is just so high.
Seeing on that pitch as well, playing.
Yeah, especially like everything on there is done on a pitch. Yeah, you're right. It looks really good. I'm gonna save this image and bring this up on stream.
People overcomplicate it, and you've just got to think about what kind of level you're aiming for, because if you're just aiming for the kind of looks good on the pitch, you know, you can do some really simple stuff that's going to work, and you know, it's not going to, people aren't going to be looking really, really closely and seeing what you've done. It's more that kind of overall effect of your team.
So I'm just bringing up your picture on the stream. Just going. Yeah, this is Ian's Black Orcs, which are looking immense. Yes, really nice job.
They've just had a first layer of skin there, so they're looking a bit patchy at the moment. But we'll go back and strengthen that color a little bit. So we've done the ones in the background. That's what I'm working on.
Nice.
That first skin layer on.
Really nice, man. The weathering as well on the black armor is really nice.
I haven't done anything on that one yet.
Well, like on the finished one. Yeah.
On the finished one. Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Doing like the scratches and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's good.
What's your method for a scratch?
Find a good tree. No, so basically the main one I use, if you're just doing like a line scratch, is to, and it works kind of pretty much over any color really, is to get some Rhinox hide, which is a nice kind of dark brown.
It's like a red brown sort of, isn't it?
Yeah. But any kind of deep brown will work. So yeah, do that, a line of that, and then just get your top highlight color for the color you've scratched on, and do the line underneath. So a lot of people, I think, do it on top, which is fine. But I'd always kind of learnt it as you're trying to emulate the kind of puckered surface as you were out of cut that's catching the light on the bottom.
Right.
Which is kind of hard to explain without sort of seeing it.
Well, the shadows at the top, isn't there, where the light is, and it's passing over, essentially, is that?
Yeah. So it's it kind of goes in, and then you've got the actual surface of the metal poking out again, so that catches the light.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one way, and then the other way that I've done on these as well is to get again a bit of Rhinox hide on a sponge, so you just like a torn up a little bit from kind of a blister pack or something is perfect. Just like really gently stipple it on the edges, and then you can always go in again with that top highlight color and just pick out a few of them. Like, don't worry too much about all of it, but if you just get a few of the kind of highlights at the bottom of those, then it kind of really stands out nicely.
Nice. Yeah, I'll definitely have to apply this, especially like the orcs and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty much a king of weathering, aren't you? Having
yeah,
all your 40k vehicles.
I
must be able to bring some of that across.
Yeah, I like weathering pigments. I like just slapping on powder. I think especially if you're doing something like orcs, and if they're like in like the desert, you can really get away with powder just to do most of the work, because it's so quick to do as well. You just don't really have to apply anything carefully. You just throw it on. Yeah, that tends to be how I weather. It's just more difficult on like these are Blood Bowl. They're not really like in the desert playing. Well, I guess your guys actually are, but yeah.
Badlands.
Yeah, it's like doing more like controlled weathering is something I still haven't done a lot of. Kind of just a person throw rusted it and hope for the best.
Kind of works, doesn't it?
Yeah, if that's what you're after, it does. I've knocked out 4 in a few weeks that way with just some highlights. 4 teams, wow. Swole, is that the Black Orcs? I think that's a great point, Ian. I need to get some paint on them so they can look decent on the pitch. I shouldn't be striving for perfection when I'm not really painted before. Absolutely agree.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
You would be surprised how good stuff looks as a group, regardless of how well it's painted. Like, I always come to this when I'm painting, like I said, I play 40k orcs, painting them. You really don't need to make an orc boy look good for it to look amazing on the table, because when there's like 30 of them and they like blend in, it just looks...
It's a real like multiplying
factor,
having them all consistently painted.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I would say it's like miniature painting is honestly pretty forgiving in the sense where your canvas is like already defined for you. So there's not a huge amount you have to do to make it still look good because the models look good.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much just try and be as you can, but don't beat yourself up if you're not. And yeah, like you say, the models do the rest.
Yeah.
Checking at the latest Games Workshop videos up there, they've kind of gone down a system where they're doing like battle ready and parade ready as their sort of like painting tiers, as it were. So some of the latest ones are like the battle ready, which is basically what we're saying there is, in get some colors on and it's going to look really good from a distance altogether. And when you look at them, it's definitely not a kind of unobtainable
no, absolutely not
to go for. So it's quite nice that it's not so intimidating. Because I think when you pick up the box or you pick up a white dwarf or whatever, and you see, you're seeing the best of the best, really, aren't you?
Yeah, it can be intimidating.
Sell their product, aren't they? At the end of the day.
Yeah, I remember getting really stressed over it when I started. Just how do you make it look like this? Yes, but the trick is you don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, find your own groove.
Yeah. Good to see you back at it, Cat Milkshake. Cat Milkshake, while you're here, thank you for the sub you sent on Saturday. Really appreciate that. I'll give the people shout outs if they come back in because I missed that because we didn't have the alert set up. So just thank you very much. We massively appreciate that. But yeah, back at it. I've got to get these guys done. So I thought I'll finish them on stream. I started them on stream. Stream my way to the end. Yeah, should all be fun. As you say, the canvas is already laid out, so it's going to look really nice to spot a lot of things. It's very interesting to work together with the sculpture, combine the works, something really great. Yeah, I totally agree. It's a really cool medium of art. It's really unique. And I really like it.
Just given how spent on it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It'd suck, wouldn't it, if you didn't?
Days at a time, apparently.
It's almost like one of my favorite things to do, though. Like that stream was like, yeah, I'm doing that again. I just got to time it with the spending time with the girlfriend. Otherwise I'll get into trouble if I don't spend all my time painting models for 24 hours. Maybe not every weekend. Every other weekend. That's got to take a toll, like, on your brain, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's definitely, what you're saying, really cool medium. And I think, yeah, you just get that real feeling of you're creating something, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's like, it's a word I'm trying to use more. As you get into more like, as you paint more, you've got to start using the vocab that all the pretentious artists use. Yeah. I think the word of the day is evocative.
Yeah.
I find miniature painting very evocative. Now, I'll Google what that means in a minute. But I'm just going to call it evocative.
You heard someone say it once.
Yeah, exactly. No, I just mean in the sense, like, it's like, you have a character here, and, like, you're creating the character in your mind, and, like, the story and stuff like that. Yeah, which I think is really cool.
It's so much more than the painting, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, whilst you're painting, a lot of the time you're kind of, although you're concentrating, you almost go on autopilot sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
And you kind of, you find your mind thinking about the other stuff that goes with the game. And
yeah.
Anything, really.
I found that happens a lot more if I paint without, like, Netflix or YouTube or something like that, which I do a lot. I paint with stuff in the background, but if, like, it's just music or something like that, I find I really zone out and think about stuff like that, which is nice. You've convinced me. I'm gonna get one painted. Nice one, Paul. Paint along. Got any any issues, we'll be happy to offer our advice, be it good advice or bad advice. Bad advice from me, good advice from Ian. A pleasure, mate. Really enjoying the content. Thank you. Jordan Drew, messing up is part of the process, I'll be. Always remember to be proud of what you've done. If you can do that, then improvement will naturally follow suit. Absolutely. Can take years. Could take weeks, though, if you find yourself really good at it. That has happened before. Some people just pick it up. Some people it takes time. It's not a problem either way. So looking to the future, what do you think the next team release will be? One of the teams of Legend or something new? I honestly think it'll be something new. I think we've had this discussion. I think we might have even had it on Saturday. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think a team of Legend, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I do. But I think we might see what they've done with Necromantic, in that it's not a kind of copy and paste. That they might change it up a little bit.
I think so too. Yeah, I think.
So I think my personal guess is going to be Norse or Amazon.
Oh really? I'd have my money on vampires.
Or Chaos Dwarfs. Actually, vampires are the ones that definitely need some attention. It's the one whose roster feels the most kind of incomplete, and
they went through a big phase. Yeah, they went through a big phase of updating like those rosters, like the 2 positional rosters. Do you know what I mean? Like Lizardmen, they gave them the Chameleon Skinks.
Yeah, and then
what else?
Released Blackhawks with goblins.
Oh yeah, they did that, didn't they?
Who were exactly the same as the old Lizardmen.
Yeah, fair.
Where's my extra position?
That is very fair.
Oh well, to be fair, if they'd done that, all they would have done is left 2 Blackhawks off the sprues, and then you've had to get the box.
That's a good point. Painting a contrast reminds me of
goblins got extra positionals.
Yeah, oh yeah, they did, didn't they? What did they have before 2016?
So they didn't have the Doom Diver, and they didn't have the Hooligan.
Okay.
The rest.
I always forget that Hooligan exists. I don't think I've ever.
Yeah, I know. I don't think I've ever run one actually. I've got a model for it.
They're like dirty player and fan favorite, aren't they? Isn't that?
I think they've changed up a bit this time.
Yeah.
So they used to just be, I think it was like foul appearance.
Oh yeah, that's it.
No, disturbing presence.
Oh okay.
And then,
it's distracting basically.
Yeah, exactly, because they're sort of drunkards.
Yeah. So painting with contrast reminds me of watching James Wapple's videos. Would recommend if interested watching some nice quality speed and gaming models getting done. That's awesome, Henriette. Yeah, don't watch this one because these are taking forever. Cheers.
James Wapple, was it?
Yeah, I honestly haven't heard of that, but I will have to check that out. Yeah, I love a speed paint.
I have been watching a guy who's been really getting into contrast. I say that I can't remember his name. Let me try and find it. But basically, he's been trying to really like push what contrast can do. So kind of beyond that kind of, just sticking it over a wash sort of over a base coat.
Yeah, I've actually seen that become a trend from a lot of painters actually. Like a lot of, I think a fairly common consensus is that it was fairly misadvertised. Like it still works like that, but I think it works best in different aspects, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, once that came out, they replaced, or they got rid of all the glazes.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, you can actually recreate a lot of those glaze effects with just the contrast with a bit of medium.
Yeah.
You can get really nice control over it.
I think it helps because they're like high pigment. Oh, sorry, you carry on. Discord cut out.
No, sorry. I was going to say, I think maybe some people haven't bought in because they kind of see it as you've got to do it as a whole system.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like they advertised it to be like the
paint the contrast way sort of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whereas actually it's just another tool, isn't it?
Yeah. I agree. I'd have thought vampires too. Yeah, I think we might see something with them. 2021 rolls around. G-Dubs introducing their Dark Mountain spiders. The Blood Bowl community confused screaming. I think the Blood Bowl community reacts with confused screaming to most things, I'll be honest. I'd love to see new Chaos teams for all the other gods. It makes sense the favored of keyword. I absolutely agree, 150%.
I agree with that.
We were saying on Saturday when we were doing this mega paintathon thing that it might not be impossible that we see Slan rebranded as Slanesh. Because they're all a bit like leapy and tricksy, aren't they? I could see that.
Yeah.
Slangors tend to be quite lithe and well that.
We're definitely entering into the season of Slanesh.
Exactly.
AOS, potentially 40k as well. And I know, I think they tied the Nurgle team to some big Nurgle releases for the other games as well. So,
yeah, because they came out similarly with Maggotkin, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. Watch this space.
People whinged about washes, complained about washes too. Yeah, I heard that.
You're right. As in every new kind of advancement, people think it's maybe taking away from the art or cheating somehow.
Nah, always try new things.
I think maybe what the fear is it becomes more accessible, and therefore you lose your special places.
Yeah.
Secrets and
I spent 3 years learning how to wet blend, and now contrast paint does it.
Now it's in a bottle.
Yeah. So when they released the tartan paint, that people freak out, isn't it?
Have you found it yet?
Well, the tartan paint.
I'll send you to find it. Yeah.
Yeah. Working at B&Q, yeah.
Yeah. How about a long wait? Have you got one of those yet?
Classic. Got to go, gents. Keep it excellent work with the podcast. Catch you later. Thanks very much, Paul. Really appreciate that. Jumping perv boys for Slanesh. Yeah, I mean, Kislev are basically that, aren't they?
They've got chains, haven't they?
Yeah. And a slave bear who, freaks. No, I'd love to see Corn and Zinch as well. We had a guy making a Zinch team in chat late night. Zinch team brewing, good fun. Yeah, like home brewing a Zinch team with Sangors and stuff. Screamers a Zinch with Bombardier.
A really nice range of models now.
Don't they? The new Battle Force just it's a good deal.
What's that, sorry? Yeah, I really like the Kyric Acolytes. I don't think they're that highly regarded kind of in game, but the models are so good.
They're definitely some of the best battle line. Like Chaos in general has this. Like the Khorne Reavers are really cool. The Kyric Acolytes are super cool. All the Slaves of Darkness stuff is cool because you factor in the fact they've got all the Warcry gangs.
Yeah, Blight Kings are cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Doing a good job with Chaos. That's a cool scheme. Looking good so far. Thanks, Praxit. Yeah, I'm just trying to bring out the red, so I'm doing some glazing practice. I did this for a long time on Saturday, and I'm trying to do it in a much faster way now. And got to be braver with the highlights. Forgot the name change. Used to be Matt's BBL. Oh yeah, Matt's BBL. Awesome. Have you ordered the new box set, Mats? It didn't sell out as much as I thought it would. Did you find that, Ian?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I kind of rushed on at 10. Where I was going to get it from, it crashed. So that, that's a good sign for them. So I went to, ended up getting to Element.
Yeah.
I thought pretty reliable. And yeah, got it. And then I saw later on in the evening they were saying they still had copies. So yeah.
Yeah, I was proper like handshaking, panic buy, and it went through, and I was like, oh, and then it was like.
Well, I think it's because we'd seen that thing about the kind of sellers only getting a few copies or
exactly, yeah.
At all, but because originally I know like just our local toy shop, Toys Ahoy, I think they'd been told wouldn't have any that they could order, but I know James managed to speak to her again later, and I think she'd been in touch with Game Social. Apparently he's on the list, so that's cool.
Oh, that is good.
So yeah, I don't know if it was all a bit of bit of bluster and
maybe
a bit of panic, but hopefully everyone who wanted one will get one.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard anyone who's completely missed out yet.
Until January.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's a restock in January or something, isn't
there? Yeah, there is. And yeah, I think coming up to Christmas, or maybe like when the buyer's remorse has maybe kicked in, we see cancellations and stuff anyway. There's things that usually happens. That happened with the Domitus. I previously was on the waiting list for it, but they ended up having extra copies because people like return it or regret it and stuff.
They found a few.
Yeah. Using the Acolytes as the base models for an Albion team for the Woad Warriors and Fengard. That is cool as heck. Is that one of the Fumble Secret League teams? I assume. I'm all about them.
They might need some tartan paint there.
Yeah. That's brilliant. Not yet. Gonna split with a friend around Christmas. I'm getting the Nobles, I think. Awesome. They're really good fun.
Paint that really quickly
then. Shut up. they're like, I mean, I've seen a few of the GW teams now. I'd say they're probably the most like flashy in terms of they have the most stuff on them. I'm trying to think of a team which has more stuff. I don't know. It's not too bad though. Like, it's not that much. Like, it's just sort of cloth armor panels and then like ribbons and feathers and wings and stuff.
Yeah.
But they are quite flamboyant compared to some of the teams. Like even the elf team is pretty like toned down.
Yeah. I think it goes back to what we were saying the other day on Ben's roundup.
Yeah.
That these two teams feel kind of more Warhammer-y first.
Yes.
Whereas things like the Pro Elves and things are very much kind of done in a sports team.
Yeah, hugely. Yeah, I really get that vibe. But they are proper fun to paint. So yeah. Vampire Coast would be a cool team. Undead Pirates, that would be a cool team. We actually see.
Fingers crossed that's going to be an AOS army soon, to be honest.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are expecting that. I mean, you were saying on Sam 16 Castle stream last night, weren't you, about the Vampire Coast being fleshed out? What's a good place to get those nameplates from? Those Nobility players are going to be a pain to tell apart. Yes, they are. That's why I actually made these ones up. I modelled these and printed them. There are places to get them from, though. Worgen Name are a company which had a Kickstarter recently, which I think they're going into like do more retail stuff. Yeah, they might be doing an ability one, but don't quote me on that. I haven't checked. Versatile Terrain is another place which do awesome custom nameplates.
Custom stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely thinking because I've got the box on pre-order as well, so I can get the nobilities. And yeah, I'm definitely leaning into this idea of doing like an owl-based team. So owl feathers and stuff like that. I think it would be really cool. I've got loads of owls left over from like the Dryad kits, so I can use them as all like the reroll markers.
That is fantastic.
Like that. And then what do you reckon to Griff with a massive eagle owl?
Such a good idea. You're just gonna head swap the eagle, or you're gonna,
yeah, stick a big owl head on there.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I like that idea a lot. You're gonna call them Owlbeon.
I might have to
now. Wasn't Indominus boxes heavily scalped, and GW did that made to order status on the Indominus boxes, causing the scalpers just to throw the boxes back at GW for in-name plans? Yeah, I think that's a big part of it, Grenla. I think the Indominus box I got was probably due to that, which was honestly, well, it was technically GW's fault in the first place. An incredibly good solution. Cannot fault them for that damage control there.
Yeah, because I remember them having to like put up that post about, you know, you're limited to 6 copies each or something stupid.
Yeah. Then it went down to 3, and then it went to 1.
Yeah. So, okay.
And then it was like hyped up to be like, we have shiploads full, everyone will get one. So yeah, it was pretty poorly handled, I think, but very well handled afterwards, and most people, I think, got
I've seen
box.
quite a few pictures of them all coming into places now and being shipped out.
Oh, have they started already coming in?
Yeah. Element posted a big like, here's what 600 copies of it.
Wow.
Indomitus.
Yeah.
Confused with the dinosaur from Jurassic World.
That is Indomitus Rex. I think. Or was that Indominus? I think it's
Indominus. I think.
Indominus.
I think the game is Domitus.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Because it's indomitable. Yeah.
Your son would know, I'm sure.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah. Yeah, Secret League. Thankfully, there's only 6 will need kilts using Noblars with human heads for pixies. Awesome idea. Yeah, I actually tried to. I've actually got him here because I've been meaning to redo it. I tried to paint like a purple tartan, and it was horrible. Like, I don't think that looks terrible on camera, but it does not look that good in the eye. I'm gonna give it another bash, I think. But yeah, it's tricky.
Actually, I reckon Acorn would be awesome in that Albion thing, like a proper squirrel berserker.
Yeah, Braveheart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, got woad all over his face.
Yeah, it really does actually. How are the nobles to build? They're pretty good actually. I didn't face too many issues. Much better than some teams. Not as good as others. I thought the Nurgle went together incredibly easily. And obviously the starter teams from the previous set are easy to build. These ones are not easy to build, by like definition. But in practice, they're not difficult to build. Versatile, a great excellent choice of fonts. Yeah, they are really good. Griffin Albawings.
What's that?
So Jordan Drew suggested Griffin Albawings.
Sure.
We can go with that. Your owl team. That's so ridiculous. I love it.
It's gonna be a hoot.
Stop it. I'm starting to look for brushes and stuff like the wet palette I may need for next week. Could you recommend any brands set good for a newcomer? I painted 40k images like 12 years ago, but I've surely forgotten everything. Yeah. Brushes I always recommend are these ones. I would say you need like one of these, especially if you're a new painter. Get like one size 2 or size 1 if you want something a bit smaller. From Series 33 Rosemary Co. It's about £5 for a real hairbrush, and it will last you forever. This one in particular has lasted, I think, nearly a year. And the tip is like kind of gone, but I use it for the bigger stuff. This one's newer, and the tip is a lot more like solid. Well, actually, it's not. If I bring it back, yeah, it's a lot sharper. They just last for ages. But I would say you can't go wrong with getting like a real fat brush. Like, I think I've got one here. I think it's always good to have like cheap synthetic ones. This is an Army Painter monster brush I've had for as long as I can remember, really. It's frayed as hell, but for like laying down huge base coats on big things, these are what you want. Like real big brushes. The bigger your brush, the quicker it is to paint. Really, anything. That's kind of all I recommend. For dry brushes, I just get anything, the cheapest things you can find. Makeup brushes are good. Like, got like these kind of makeup brushes. These work really well as dry brushes. What would you suggest, Ian?
Yeah, no, honestly, the Rosemary & Co. Series 33 is definitely up there. Number one is my favorite size.
Yeah.
And I literally use it for everything. It's kind of a real workhorse.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. It's for me anyway. The important bit of the brush is the tip. So it doesn't matter what size body it is. If it's got a really good tip, it can do a lot.
Yeah.
Whereas some paintbrush manufacturers will try and sell you a really tiny one and say it's insane detail or whatever. But actually, you can get that same detail from just a really good point on a size one.
Yeah, you definitely can. I find sometimes a real tiny one can be handy for certain jobs, like when you need to get into places. I think that's when a small brush has its place. I've still got like this one, which is still Rosemary, but that's like a 3-0. But like if I were to get like underneath like the moustache and stuff like that, I find that's where these are handy when you're not like touching the sides of things. But that's just because
the old undertash.
The undertash, yeah.
Yeah.
Use this specifically for painting the underside of moustaches, for nothing else. Yeah. Not like for cheap stuff, not value. Yeah.
It's as well that I've been seeing this go around quite a lot, but it's true. The old Terry Pratchett boots economy. Have you seen that?
I don't think I have.
So yeah, it's a character in some of his books, which basically has a theory of economics where rich people are rich because they spend less because you only have to buy a quality thing once.
Okay.
Poorer people have to buy a cheaper thing and replace it every couple of years or whatever. So who spends less and who spends more? It's the same with brushes, really.
It is.
To get a couple of really good brushes that are going to last. There we go, Vime's theory of boots, that are going to last than keep replacing them with cheap ones every few weeks or every project or whatever.
I think that's incredibly true for brushes. Although different people will tell different things. Like you get some really good artists who swear by like using the cheapest brush they can find and just throwing it away at the end of the session. But I can see that when some other manufacturers, like I feel like Winsor & Newton are quite expensive. I think it's more like they're like 15 a brush or something. And I can see using cheaper ones that you throw away for doing mass projects, but these ones are like £5. And I think like that's a really good price point to do everything with.
Yeah.
It's like a pot of paint, Instead of buying a wash, you instead buy a good brush and it lasts you for hundreds of models. Scarfangs recommends a Ferrero Rocher chocolate box, a kitchen dish sponge, and greaseproof paper from Sainsbury's. Turn it into wet palette. Honestly, really good. Mine is still wet 3 months on. I have here a kitchen dish sponge and a greaseproof paper from Sainsbury's as well. It does the job. I've heard Co-op is better though. I was recommending Co-op, and I might switch because I found this sometimes does just dry out. Yeah, although I did flip over the sponge. It's a lot better on this side.
How does it smell? Can you describe the...
Oh no, I clean it every time I do it. I clean it because it smells rancid after about a week. Yeah, this pot, a Ferrero Rocher chocolate box is awesome, and I actually did use that for a long time. Plus, you get Ferrero Rocher's out of it. This is a GW Tuft box, and I use this because... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you will definitely have one. I use this because it fits into my paint case. So I carry my paints in like a wooden box from Frontier Wargaming. And this is like the exact width. And so I can slide this in this way and close it up. And that's why I use this. But ideally, I'd use something bigger. Like a Ferrero Rocher tub.
Yeah, I've just gone from an ice cream tub and upgraded to one of my wife's little Tupperwares.
Nice. Real upgrade.
Yet, but...
Yeah. Oh no, my black has bled into my red. Disaster. Kalinsky brushes are awesome and feel so right in the hand. Yeah, absolutely. If it says like Kalinsky sable hair, they're generally all pretty similar. Like Raphael is another brand which is fairly good value. If you're in the US, I think they tend to be a bit cheaper than Rosemary & Co. Rosemary & Co. are like Winsor & Newton, made in the UK. Yeah, Winsor & Newton are UK, aren't they? Yeah. Rosemary & Co. definitely are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, like the ethics of the brush though. Like, I guess they're technically not vegan, right? Because they're made from animal hair.
Sable, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
There is. I've seen a few threads on alternative options.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
like,
there's something to think about, definitely.
Yeah, I know there's a thing going on with Denmark with like mink, which is like a similar.
Yeah, mink farming. Yeah.
Yeah, they're having to cull them all because they have like COVID-2 or something. It's like a mutated version which we can't defend against. Anyway, so yeah, there might be some cheap brushes going if they're getting rid of all the mink. Make some mink hair ones. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You do know you have people going to art shops asking for a Kalinsky Sable Series 7 Undertash brush. Yeah. I need to paint some Nobility Tashes. Give me the finest Kalinsky you have. Haven't tried Co-op, we'll definitely have a look. Yeah, the Co-op brand wet palette greaseproof is what you're after, apparently. Haven't tried, can't vouch, but someone on stream said it the other day. Economics with Ian, says Craig. Mrs. loved the chocolates, lol, so I won some boyfriend points. Well, until she saw me use the empty box and was onto my cunning plan.
Yeah, let's be honest, I wouldn't really trust my advice because with how much I've spent on this hobby over the years, I think what I could have been investing in them.
Yeah, the economics advice, yeah. I don't think money enjoyed isn't money wasted, so.
Exactly. That's what I'd tell myself.
Yeah.
It's priceless.
Oh, there you go. You'll be pleased with this. Jean Bernadotte or Jean Bernadotte. Hopefully the Danish mink sorry, I'll start again. Don't want to mess this up. Hopefully the Danish mink can weasel out of their bad situation. That's an Ian joke right there.
Oh, I love that.
Is it true that once you have a kid, the dad jokes just sort of come to you? Or did you have to like practice? Yeah.
Yeah. You have to do the dad dance ritual.
Yeah? How's that go?
It's kind of step side to side, shake arms awkward.
Cool, yeah.
then suddenly you can tell really bad jokes.
Baking paper is slightly better sometimes. The fibers come away from greaseproof paper. Ah, that is interesting. Yeah, I found different types are different. Like, I find baking paper as a thing is actually hard to get hold of here. I think it's definitely more of an American thing, is that right? Or is that baking parchment? I can't remember, but anyway, it's like over here it's basically all just greaseproof paper, right?
You want to get yourself to Hobbycraft sometime.
Yeah.
I reckon they'll have a good range. Or Lakeland even.
What, of like greaseproof?
Yeah. Or stuff that's selling itself as baking paper. To be honest, I didn't really know till recently there was much of a difference.
It's
To Helen, she'll know.
Yeah. Did she bake?
Yeah, massively.
Nice. Always a plus to be the person with the person who bakes. Like,
well, it explains my fine figure.
It's athletic. We just established you dance every day.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Ian's been honing his skill for years for the dad jokes. There's Craig. On the plus side of being a dad, there are limitless opportunities to embarrass your kids. Is that true?
I don't know. I don't think that mine are at the age yet.
Oh, you can embarrass them, yeah.
No, they kind of just get in on it at the moment. I think they'll hit a point where suddenly it's like, you're not cool.
I think there is a turning point where it goes from your kids are embarrassing you to you embarrassing your kids. I think there will be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, so the other day I was dropping William off to school. He was just stood in the line chatting about how this other kid in his class doesn't behave while his parents are stood like it's like, William!
Just no chill. Just
oh man,
that's hilarious.
Keep looking forward.
So Calmox says, so basically it's worth trying with a DIY palette. Yeah, I think so. They're pretty cheap. Like, this was quite expensive considering I had to buy like GW tufts for it. But I mean, if you consider the fact you're buying tufts, then the palette's free. Yeah.
Then again, that being said, the red grass one isn't that much, is it?
No, and I've heard it's actually really decent.
It's pretty cheap, so yeah, I don't think. Obviously, homemade is kind of a really easy and cheap solution, but for only a few quid more, if you can get a good red grass one, then
yeah,
you're happy with it, go for it.
Considering getting like, if you're buying like a tub, you don't want to just use like a Chinese takeaway Tupperware, which might be like, I wouldn't recommend that just because I'd say you need something that's like airtight. I wouldn't recommend a Chinese takeaway tub. Oh, sorry, Stony, good night. Man, need to be up in over 6 hours. Good luck with the grand plan, but it's still the Cadbury's to me. Thanks very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, considering if you're buying like a Tupperware, a sponge, the paper, yeah, you'll have loads of leftovers, but that's still, you're already spending like a few quid. If a pallet is like, 6 quid, 10 quid, whatever it is, then yeah, it might be worth it. Baking parchment and paper are the same thing. Bakerful, baking paper, you can get it at Co-op. Okay, definitely have a look. Get the branded stuff, get the good stuff. Anything else I should get to make my life easier I still don't know of? I'm not sure, really. What is a day-to-day thing for a new painter?
Painting or just general?
Yeah, a good thing is like a good pair of shoes.
Yeah.
No, for painting. Hiccups.
Decent light, I think.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Certainly, lighting is something to definitely consider.
So I'm trying to get rid of hiccups. Really? Give me a sec. Yeah.
Drink more.
I found a really good light. I'm currently using it, so I can't really show it. But it's like basically a strip of LEDs connected to a stiff wire. It's powered by USB and it clips onto any table. It's like wherever you're working, you just plug that into USB. And he's already got a decent light. That's fair. But yeah, I find like a really bright LED array tends to be really good. That's what I'm using here. You can kind of see, well, with the green screen, like screwing literally everything up. But I've got like 2 bright lights shining on the space. So. Sound is super low. Oh, is the sound really low, or is your sound super low? I didn't refer to which one. Red Grass Games might be the thing we're referring to. Red Grass Games wet palette. This isn't something to get, but it's a good tip. Make sure you keep your coffee cup away from the water cup. So many paint added drinks, I swear I've peed different colours. Yeah. That is always a good tip. painting something that doesn't look like a your paint cup. I've used this little like Tupperware pot. I don't even know where this came from. I stole it from my parents' house like 3 years ago, and it's fantastic. It's just like a wide surface. It's super thin. It doesn't take up like desk space. I love it. I work from home, so I have a nice space already. Awesome. Something I really wish I had was a proper good space. I tend to move where I paint anyway, just for variety. Sometimes it gets a bit samey being at the work desk when you just had a day of work there. So sometimes painting downstairs is nice. I got myself a sit-out handle. Pretty sure there are better ones, but that one was cheap and on my face, so I got one. I think the sit-out handles are awesome. Still using the old ones. Haven't used the new one yet. I'm assuming you got yourself one of the new ones, which I've heard they stay up way better. They don't topple over so much. Those ones do actually topple quite a lot. But yeah, I think those handles are some of the best things Games Workshop has made. Like, the price point is so good for them.
Yeah, I've seen people with sort of, like 10 of them.
Yeah. That might be a bit overkill.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually seen, there's lots of other options. Although, like we said, Games Workshop is really, really good price point and easy to get hold of. But I've seen one, I think it's by the guys who run Tale of Painters, where it's got, so it's one handle, but you can screw off the clamps or screw off the holders.
Oh,
really
cool.
Easily. So, or they're magnetic or something. So you basically, instead of having to open up your clamp and take your model out, put a new one in, you just kind of put all your models on a separate clamp or holder, and then just swap those out.
Yeah.
It's quite a cool idea.
That is actually really cool. I gotta look into this. What do you say it's called?
I think it's, I want to say it's like Starly or Tale of Painters or something like that. Could be wrong. I'm going to have to look this up now. I want to get this right.
Garfy's Get a Grip painting handle. Is that the one?
Yeah, Garfy, that's it.
Yeah, that looks... Oh, yeah, okay. Cool. So it's like clamps around your base rim and then, yeah. That was like pretty cool, actually. I got myself a... Oh, no, that was it. It looks similar to yours, actually. Yeah, that's cool, yeah. Honestly, I'm not sure... The redesign must have only just been for, like, stability, because I think the new one does exactly the same job as the old one. Sort of a bit of a if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing, but let's give it a go.
I think it was last year when they released a few variants, didn't they? With so the one with the arms. Like,
oh yeah, I still use those arms.
From the Matrix.
Yeah, I don't use them on the handle, but I just use them as arms.
What, to like you wave at people?
No, it's like when gluing stuff.
Yes, yeah, I think that's what it's for, isn't it?
So yeah.
You're doing like sub assemblies.
Yeah.
To clamp bits together. But then they also did like I think there's like a large version that can hold much bigger bases.
Yeah, the old XL. The daddy handle.
The daddy. Tells jokes.
Yeah. Decent brushes, good light source, preferably daylight fluorescent tube, color 865. Master's brush shape is really good. That is very true for looking after your brushes. Yes, yeah. Probably the most important thing is space to work in progress. Yeah, the brush soap. If you're getting a real hair one, grab some Master's brush soap. Sure. Again, it's like £5 or something, and it will keep your brushes alive.
Lasts for a long time.
Yeah, I've never bought a second one.
I'm getting close. but I've had that one for a few years now, I think.
So good. I think it was like Milton Our Club who like demolished through his. I'm just like, what did you do, man? Just like, eat it.
It's very, very cleanly, that one.
Yeah. Maybe he just takes better care of his.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I mean, you don't have to do it after every session, do you?
No. I tend to do it when they're looking bad.
Yeah. I'm like, this one's feeling a bit stiff.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely not getting these done tonight. Still on the glazing again. I've got to stop doing this. I don't know what I'm doing. It takes painters on YouTube way less time.
That's because they're painting at like 5 times speed.
Ah, that might be it. And they have cuts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like Vince Venturella did 24 hours, but the video was only like 20 minutes. Somehow that.
But yeah, I mean, he's got the kind of the undercoating, the airbrushing down to a really fine art, hasn't he?
Yeah, he really does.
It's like second nature to him. Like he can lay down those layers.
I was listening to I don't know if you've listened to it, but the podcast Trapped Under Plastic. It's with Miniac and Ninjon, who are both on YouTube. Very good painters, both of them. But yeah, recently they had like a little mini convention at their place with so the two of them plus Sam Lenz and Vince Venturella.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah, they basically just broed out and painted models and played some Age of Sigmar, just over a long weekend. Yeah, but they were basically saying how like Vince just doesn't stop painting. Like he's just like, where every moment he can get, he'll paint. Like this guy, apparently he works like full time, has like 2 kids, and he would just like, he somehow just fits painting into his schedule so perfectly, and he just uses time so efficiently that he can get so much done. Really inspiring.
I'm trying to get good at that. That, you know, literally using every 10 minutes. If you've got 10 minutes spare, and you've got a bit of time to like put one layer on one model, then it saves you time.
Yeah.
That you'll be wasting on it later.
Yeah, definitely.
And particularly with like washes as well. If you've got 10 minutes spare and there's something that needs to wash, just stick it on, and then when it's dry later, you've saved yourself so much time.
Yeah, totally. Like you've done commissions and stuff. How does that factor in when you're doing work for someone else? Do you have to think about that a lot more?
I don't know. I mean, I've never been under too big a time pressure, to be honest.
Okay.
So no, I mean, I haven't. I think that once you have got one, you definitely want to get it done, because there's that incentive to get back to your own stuff then.
Yeah.
Which is mostly the reason I stopped, to be honest. Because I think unless you can get a fair kind of amount of money for the work you spend, it's never really going to be worth it.
Yeah.
You lose out on so much of your own hobby time for kind of not as much gain. And in my kind of other job where I tutor, when you think about, you know, like the hourly rate of that,
yeah,
plus a bit of, you know, plus a bit of the prep time, the painting is just laughable.
Yeah. Like there's an argument to be made that it's more enjoyable to an extent, but if you say like it's not your own work, I guess it just burns you out a lot more.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean,
Carol.
It depends if you paint because you like painting, or you also paint because you like having painting painted models.
Yeah.
To me, I'm a bit of both,
I think. Yeah, no, I think definitely both. I love the process. Yeah, I don't know. I probably wouldn't ever get into commissions for the reason you said. Like every commission painter has said the same thing in common, and that's they've stopped. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like you say, unless you can really make it quick, it's difficult to make it worth it. And also, I feel like there's a point where I feel like I'm charging the person too much. If it became like a viable business model, you're gonna have to then have that discussion with someone, and then you're gonna have to tell them how much it's realistically gonna cost, and then I don't think I could ever comfortably do that.
But that's the thing. If they agree to it, then it's a fair price.
Yeah, that's true.
In that sense.
Yeah.
They can only say no, can't they? And the problem is that they probably could find someone who'll do it cheaper because.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are keen to kind of turn to it. But you know that there's all sorts of different levels of painting that you can get. But I think I struggle with that. Like I kind of just paint at my one level, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't really feel confident painting at a lower level and kind of then being paid for that, if that makes sense.
No, I understand.
I feel like if people know what I can do, it's a tricky one. I think what I lack is that kind of instinct and the kind of business sense to be like, right, what do you want? What level do you want? This is going to cost this. This is going to cost this. So yeah, I'm a bit too awkward to kind of have those discussions.
Yeah, exactly. It's difficult to have. Like money is awkward, isn't it?
It's like you want your models painted, then this is my level of painting. So yeah, who knows?
Yeah. We've got Private Nice Guy. I need to get to bed. 11:13 p.m. in Sweden. If you aren't here when I wake up, I'll be disappointed. I will not be here when you wake up today. I have got to work today. Tomorrow. Yeah. So if you're still around, yeah. Apologies. But thank you for tuning in. Bill, it's a great hobby to lose yourself in, especially if you had a stressful day. Hopefully you'll see some of your stuff in the various social media groups. Good luck. Yeah, absolutely. We also have a series on the podcast, Work in Progress Wednesday, that Ben does every week. There was an episode today. Definitely submit the stuff you're working on, because it's always cool to see.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to hang back from the Blood Bowl community on Facebook until they're all finished. Because that's such a big...
It's stressful, isn't it?
Yeah. I think, as soon as you post one up, you can just imagine the old people jumping on, where'd you get those models?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We already had a bit of that, but it's fine. Social media is a scary place. Yeah. It feels nice when you get your validations, but it feels bad when they backfire. You get your nice little endorphins and someone clicks like on you. It's very nice, but addictive.
How about seen loads of good comments about the your big stream?
Yeah.
Lots of people commenting on the YouTube videos and stuff.
Yeah, it was really good.
Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, it went really well. It was like first time trying something like that. It was way easier than I thought it would be, honestly. I thought it would be really tough. I thought I'd be bailing. Even when I did it with some friends, it was like just sort of that level of like social exposure is a lot sometimes.
Yeah.
But it was really cool.
guess it must be a kind of strange feeling knowing that people watching you aren't interacting.
Yeah, there were a lot.
Not to say, that's no judgment or whatever. It's just that fact that you must be able to see how many people.
Yeah,
you want.
I do have the live stats all the time, and yeah, it is quite interesting. Like the ratio between like the comments and stuff, and then knowing that there's like 20 other people who are just watching. Well, even now, like, which is really cool. Yeah, we've got 30 people watching, which is really cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, hey to everything, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate every single one. It's really, it's like you say, it's a little endorphin hit. 30 people want to spend their time to watch me ruin ability models. But yeah.
So they don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's good fun. I actually like the streaming side kind of for the pressure, because I've said this a lot. I love to experiment and try new things with this sort of stuff, but like sort of someone forcing you to try and, well, not forcing, but it's like that social pressure to paint well.
It's a bit of level of accountability, isn't there?
Exactly, yeah. I think that's actually pretty good. The whole like competition is healthy kind of vibe. Not that it's a competition. I mean, wrong phase, but that similar feeling.
Yeah.
It kind of pushed. Phil, you're talking about commission jobs. It's particularly awkward when someone asks you to do certain color combinations. It just won't work. That been a thing you've had?
Actually, to be honest, most of the time I've kind of been left to my own devices.
That's pretty good.
As in, paint these. Apart from that one historical job.
Ah, yes. Yeah, I remember that.
But, that's a story for another time.
Yeah.
No, I've not had to do any color combos in particular that haven't. But yeah, I can imagine if you're someone who does Blood Bowl teams, that could be quite cool. When people have an idea of what colours they want, yeah.
I think though at that point you just got to go with it, right? Even though it doesn't work, I guess you got to part of the work being the painter is to make it work.
Exactly. There's that kind of relationship between you, isn't there? When as the client and depends if I guess you can say, would you like some input on your plans? If they say, no, I'm happy with it, you just knuckle on and go with it, don't you?
Definitely.
But yeah, you can't give too much away, I imagine.
We've all had a stressful year, so yeah, can't wait to start with it. And sure, I'll try to share my progress. The community has been nothing but helpful, so I'm counting on lots of constructive criticism. You will get it.
Yeah, well, this is something I wrote a little article about a while ago. All about feedback, and I think one of the key thing is make sure you're really specific in what you ask for, because if you say what do you think, people will tell you exactly what they think, and it won't all be helpful.
It can make you feel bad.
Exactly. So when you're going for feedback, try and ask for something specific. So like, what do you think of the eyes, or what do you think of the color combinations like we've just been talking about? Something that when you get feedback that you could actually go and work on. Yeah. If you're too open, I think you get all sorts, and it's hard to know what is helpful all the time.
Yeah. That's good advice, that.
And if you don't want any advice, then say that. Say, not looking for feedback, but just I'm really pleased with this model. And then people will know, hopefully, that actually you just want a pat on the back, and that's absolutely fine as well, because we all need that sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really important to encourage that sort of online etiquette as well.
Yeah.
The whole sort of thing where if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all, really, kind of. But then that unless they're asking for it.
Yeah, that's it. That you've got to, and it's kind of guarding yourself against that kind of useless, unwarranted advice.
I think the armor's looking a lot richer. A little bit like less smooth than it was before, but there's a lot more red tone in it all, which still doesn't show up on camera. It kind of does like that. I'm basically just applying like a really thin brown glaze now, just to try and smooth transition. Surprisingly, the gloss varnish does a lot to smooth it. Like that change, like because I'm applying some glazes to try and smooth the transitions. But I found even when I applied the gloss varnish to it, that actually does a lot of smoothing, which surprised me.
Yeah. Gloss varnish naturally does that, doesn't it? So
yeah.
A lot of people use it too. So I use varnish whenever I've been doing green stuffing. I always try and coat it with some varnish to kind of, because it finds its level.
Oh, okay. It must work on like the paint level then.
Yeah, I think the thing with matte, I think I've heard with matte before, what it does is it kind of gets everything to that level, because before, if you've got an imperfection or a bit of lumpy paint, it's to do with how the light picks it up.
Yeah.
It's kind of an evener.
Yeah, it's like a matte is a bumpy surface, which means the light reflects constantly in on itself. Yeah, and it loses its potency, whereas gloss being level just reflects it.
Yeah, so either way, you're either kind of flooding.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
So it will look smoother, yeah. Milkshake is heading off.
Awesome. Thank you for chiming in, Count. I really appreciate your comments, and yeah, good luck with the painting. Let us know how you get on.
If you ever want any feedback, then do get in touch.
Yeah, definitely.
And go send posts and all of that sort of stuff. If you kind of you just need some friendly words or whatever.
Yeah, 100%. Ultimately, just have fun. Yeah, that's why any of us do any of it. It's fun.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think the BB and Necromunda communities are generally supportive, especially towards people getting back into the hobby. There are some negative ones, but you get them everywhere. Unless, of course, you work for GW, then everyone hates you. That is very true. Yeah.
The great unifier.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Actually, I think I do really like the kind of specialist games communities.
Yeah, I agree. So much like just I don't know, the big games, they feel pretty dangerous sometimes, don't they?
Yeah, I think it's because basically more people is
yeah,
more chance to have the characters.
I think also the money side can't be ignored. Like I always think a lot of toxicity for like Warhammer, I feel a lot of it is financial, because you have to invest so much into that. Tummy and mine, time and money. A lot goes into Warhammer. So that's
like we were saying earlier with how much you think about how much of your time already you spent painting one team.
Yeah.
And you put that over a 2,000 point army plus.
This is half a unit.
Yeah, mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, absolutely crazy.
Obviously, I wouldn't paint to the same standard. I'd cut corners, but still.
Yeah, But I think, yeah, if you buy in big, then maybe there is that feeling of ownership, and it's my game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When they change something which you have put so much money towards, and then suddenly the stuff you do, you're just not gonna have fun with it. I can see that. I can see it, but I still think it's no real excuse for being aggressive towards other people online. There's never an excuse for that.
The nature of social media and online anyway kind of means that you can be your worst self.
Yeah, exactly.
Not have the repercussions.
I mean, America dealt with a president like that for 4 years, so without getting too political.
So so are you still, using any kind of medium in there, or is that purely the gloss varnish with the paint?
No, it's glaze medium.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah. The gloss varnish with the paint? No. That sounds genius. Is it good?
Maybe I'm on something there. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, science it. I guess I could try it. Let's do it for science. What happens if you... Let's just do gloss. Just pure gloss. I normally mix in some matte into this because the gloss is too much, but for science sake, we'll see what the gloss looks like.
You're not going to put it on one of your models, are you?
Yeah.
Blame me.
Actually, let's do a model that isn't the one I'm currently painting. I've got this thing. Let's do this. Gloss varnish. Let's do a yellow. Yeah, about this model. So.
What's that?
It was just something when I was doing that like palette challenge, which was meant to be a different palette a day for October, and did one day and gave up. This was day 2. I didn't want to finish it.
Awesome.
It's a cool palette though. Like sort of blue, dark blue and red. I like it.
Yeah.
No, not a fan.
Well, I don't know. Does it do anything? I can't really see it might have a subtle sheen. You have to wait till it's dry, actually.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant the palette. I was like, eh.
No. Sorry, I meant the what you're painting on.
Yes, CJM. So one thing I've wondered, is that how the bases are at the box with a small effect on them? On the Blood Bowl minis? Do you mean like the texture? No, that's just some sand I PVA'd down before I primed them. They're just standard Games Workshop bases, but with a slotter. So have you ever had a Blood Bowl base? They all come like this.
I would say if you're getting these teams and you're not going to use the slot, it could be worth your time just investing in some blank 32 mils. Then you won't have to worry about any of the covering up, and then a little bit of texture over will be fine. Otherwise, you are going to have to fill those gaps a little bit somehow. I mean, we both, I think, use masking tape.
Yeah.
And then PVA over the top to harden it up.
Literally just do it here. You see some people put like texture fill in there. If you just do that, you can put anything over the top and you'll be alright. Just saves your texture paint.
Yeah, because I know on the recent Games Workshop tutorials, they've literally just been cramming texture paint into the gaps.
Have they?
Yeah. They've said, oh yeah, just go over it and fill the gaps. But actually, you can see them afterwards. You still see a big dip in it. So it's definitely worth putting some tape over it, and you'll save yourself some paint as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's what they're counting.
Yeah, maybe.
More of it.
Uses 10% more paint per base. With the second season, this will be my first time actually building the minis. Only be doing board game ones, some besides Scythe Manchester Madness. 3 very cool board games though.
I've not heard of Manchester Madness.
Oh, it's like it's Fantasy Flight. It's like Arkham Horror. It's all in their like Arkham universe. I haven't played it, but I've seen a lot of it, and a lot of the characters are like crossover. I think it's all set in like, yeah, I don't know. They've kind of got like an in-game universe thing going on. So, but it's good though. I've played the other 2 though. So you base your minis before priming. Good to know I'm not the only one doing that. It honestly depends, Aubrey. It's I think in this case I did because I had to stream and I didn't want to do it on stream. Often I do it afterwards. And if I'm doing like, I mean, to be fair, most of the time I do the bases separately to the mini anyway. So I usually super glue them on a temporary base and snap them off when they're done, and then stick them on the base or pin them. That's usually what I do. But in this case, for like Blood Bowl bases, they're so simple. I may as well just do the sand beforehand.
Yeah, I'm normally get all the texture on there and spray it all together. Kind of.
Yeah.
In my head, it gives it an extra level of ceiling.
It does, yeah. Exactly. Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
I think often I don't, purely because I haven't decided what I want for the base yet. I just want to paint the model. Sometimes the basing idea comes to me when I'm painting, but yeah. Or I'm doing like using a certain texture, or I want to airbrush the bases, and then just doing them separate is easier.
Yeah.
Huzzah, a new coach steps out into the gridiron. Yes. Always good to see a new coach. We hoping that this new edition brings in a lot more players, because, you know, more players is better. More better, yes.
Come on, get the catchphrase right.
Yeah, I can't even do that right. Started playing Kill Team, and he was ready to quit the hobby because some people's attitudes were just vile because he was a noob. He joined a good group of players at his local club and totally different experience. Loves the hobby now and getting into Blood Bowl. That was his son. That really sucks that he had that experience.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's got a good group now, but honestly, hearing stuff like that is...
It goes back to what we were saying as well about social media in general. I think there's no real replacement for that good kind of local group.
Definitely not.
Because, you know, on the whole, people are better in real life, I think.
Oh, yeah. God, I'm insufferable on social media. Probably, hopefully, less insufferable in real life. Yeah. Hopefully. Don't answer that again.
Look, guys, Ben is much nicer in real life. What you're seeing here is internet.
Yeah. No. Horrible human being.
No, definitely though.
Yeah, it's different.
It's so hard to. You've got to navigate, you know, people's tone and, you know, people, you know, even in a funny way culturally. And I don't even mean that kind of country-wise, but the groups that people grow up in, you know, if you aren't familiar with how people talk to each other, and then they come online and start kind of
bantering and stuff like that. When
exactly.
Definitely. There's a whole psychology, isn't there, of it? Like, talking to people in real life is so much different. A matchstick has the same...
Glad he's getting into Blood Bowl too.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, because both Kill Team and Blood Bowl are awesome games. What Kill Team does he play? Mugwump, a matchstick has the same width as slots in the bases. I use those. Yeah, I've seen that before. That works. Haven't tried it though, just because the tape is just usually just convenient for me. It's at my desk. I don't even think I have matches.
Now, with this orc lot, I taped up all the bases, and then literally within the next hour, my son had emptied his massive craft box all over the floor with a massive, you know, bag of matchsticks.
Really?
It's like, where were those an hour ago?
Oh, kids sound wonderful. Clearing up 1,000 matchsticks.
Yeah. I do actually spend... I sound like a right, you know, how my mum's sounded growing up, but I do spend most of my time tidying up their mess.
Gone full circle.
I know. Our parents were right.
Yeah. App-driven horror dungeon crawl where the dungeons and mansions are public zones based on a 2030s time frame. Yeah, that's Mansions of Madness. It's just a cool setting. All like cosmic horror. The app-driven stuff is cool. I've been enjoying playing Descent with my girlfriend, which is all. It's not all app-driven, but you can play it cooperative, driven by the app. I think they've got a new edition that's come out, which is all app-driven. It's a cool way of doing it. It's a cool way. Sort of acts as the AI.
Definitely takes me back to what was that game? Atmosphere. You know, with the videos.
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know before your time.
What's a VHS?
Yeah, it was. You had to put the
Golly.
VHS and then later DVD. You know, very modern.
Yeah.
Oh, it was brilliant. This, you know, guy all hamming it up, dressed as this like horror character, taking you through the game.
Sounds great. No, thankfully I do remember what a VHS is. Vaguely, but do you remember renting from Blockbuster?
Yeah, Blockbuster.
I remember renting the
rent games from there as well.
Yeah, I don't think I ever did games.
Master System games I used to get from there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Real old school.
That was in the day where you could rent a game, beat it, and then hand it back the next day. I do remember distinctly. It must be a real early memory. Although I would have been, I would have been 4. Renting the Pokemon movie 2000. I'm watching that.
Amazing.
Yeah, I would have been 4 or 5. But yeah, that was a VHS rental that I distinctly remember.
Brush licking isn't that bad for you.
Someone said licking the brush. Commented. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's non-toxic.
No, acrylics are generally fine. Don't do it with like enamel or oil paint. That'll mess you up.
Yeah, and generally you have wiped most of the paint off in the water.
Yeah, I mean this water is filthy, but
it's fine. Gets the good tip.
Yeah. I think it's more of a habit. I think even if I don't need it, like here I'm kind of just glazing. I don't really need the tip, but I just don't have habit.
It's kind of almost like automatic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have any of us tried strange eons or aeons? Really small scale skirmish game set in the 30s based on Cthulhu.
I haven't. That sounds awesome though. But that whole like setting of Cthulhu mythos is really, really, really up my alley. So I will have to try that. You know who it's by?
Quite interesting because the kind of Cthulhu games seem to be either kind of RPGs or more board gamey types. So is that an actual, like get your tape measure out, a measure sort of skirmish game, or is it grid based or something?
That'll be interesting. Isn't acrylic basically plastic when it dries? Yeah, it is. But you don't really ingest enough for it to be dangerous. Like, I did this on the stream for 24 hours last weekend, and I ate a lot of... I ate more paint than food that day. That probably wasn't good. Like, my tongue was actually stained. But at that level, it probably isn't good. But, yeah.
Blue tongue.
Yeah, it was like purple. Well, yeah.
That's not good.
No. But, it's not that bad. Speaking of that, I'm going to change the water. So, be back in just a sec. feel like such a wizard coming through that green screen on camera every time.
Yeah, with your shiny shirt. Every now and then it looks like it's glittering.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? Yeah. It's 'cause it's impossible to get the chroma key right with the lighting I have in here. So yeah, this is the best I can get, I think, which is why it kind of looks a bit glitchy every now and then. Bonehead life hacks. Don't stain your tongue with paint. Yeah. Mugwump, I've been licking paintbrushes for years and I'm still normal. You paint toy soldiers like playing American football. That's only so normal you can be. Right, what is next? I think I'll do the feathers. What are your thoughts on the battle forces, Ian? For AOS and 40k?
Actually, look pretty good.
They do.
Yeah, I haven't looked too much at the 40k side of it, but yeah, the smart stuff seems pretty cool. Like the Zinch box, I think you were saying earlier, looks really good. Loads of Kyric acolytes, Zangors. You can get a chicken, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So loads of good stuff in there.
Like, yeah, the fact you get the Lord of Change is like already a steal.
Gaunt Summoner, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think that's a high demand model. So.
I mean, the Gloomspite one, I've got everything in there, but it's almost tempted to get it again because you get loads of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of basically Squigs and Troggers. So that's a cool box. There was Caradrons. That one's okay. I think they seem to put the little gun holders in everything. So
yeah. Probably drowning in them.
Those around. What is it? Is there one more?
Yeah, ogres.
Oh, of course, ogres. Yeah, that's.
I think I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, that's a really nice box.
You get 1250 points in there.
1250.
Which is good. Like, let's say it's optimistic £100 RRP. It's probably going to be more because they're probably going to increase it slightly this year.
Yes, I think it'll be 120 RRP.
120.
Last year's were 110.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good deal for a 1250 point ogre army. And you get a lot of dudes in there.
Yeah, I reckon could be like 90 quid third party.
Yeah, exactly. Third party, yeah. Be awesome. I'm a more tribes player in AOS. That box set's burning a hole in my pocket. That, yeah. I heard though, it's great. Oh, it's amazing for a new more tribes player, but for an existing one, it tends to be just more stuff you already have because you get like the Tyrant who was in Feast of Bones.
Yeah.
A lot more. Is it what the battle line called? Like Iron Guts or something? What are they, sorry?
Ogres.
They're just ogres. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they used to be ogre bulls. I think they're called buttons now, actually.
Buttons. Oh, gluttons. Okay, so,
yeah, not buttons.
That was it. It is gluttons. Yeah. Rings a bell. Yeah. It just looks like a neat little force. I thought, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I started AOS. Ogres with my
really
first army. Yeah, because I picked them up because I thought, fairly low model count. This was before points, to be honest, even in AOS. But it's like, you can just get a few boxes of these guys. They paint up really easily. They're kind of, all the battle lines and the iron guts and stuff are from an era where they didn't just flood everything with loads of detail.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to paint them up really quickly.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for. Get them all done. Can't tell us my own greed or the will of the Moor itself.
Definitely the Moor.
Isn't there law basically they just eat everything and that's about it?
Well, I was going to ask actually, this ogre player, I'm not that versed in the AOS lore for ogres, because obviously they used to have the Great Moor in the old world, or not in the old world, to the east somewhere, that they worshipped. And now it's kind of all the destruction worships generally Gorkamorka in different kind of aspects.
Oh, really? Including the bear map?
Yeah, well, they're a funny one because there's obviously like Gorkamorka at the top, then they've got the World Titan, which was like their big daddy.
Okay.
But then Behemoth kind of broke his way out of the World Titan. It's a bit like a Greek myth where you just go around eating your own children.
Yeah.
So it burst out somehow, and then that he kind of spawned them. But
all right.
Oh, Phil. Other Ben. I'll message him for you.
Yeah.
I know he's been pretty swamped at work.
Yeah, he has had a lot on.
Retail at Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give him a nudge for you.
I'm struggling to pass up on the Trolls and Squigs box as a Hardwick. Yeah, it's a cool box. Like, you guys get so many like big guys. The Dank Hold is in there. I wonder what that force works out to be points wise. Do you know roughly? A Dank Hold with like 6 Rock Guts and then 10 Squigs. Is it like, or is it 10 Hoppers, 10 Bounders or something?
You can build them as either.
Oh, okay, cool.
I don't think it's really possible to actually build like a legal army out of that box.
You can at 1,000 though, right? Because you only need 1 leader and 1 battle line.
Well, yeah, at 1,000 you could take the Trog boss and then 2 units of 3 rock guns.
I think you also get the Cave Squig, right?
Yeah, but they're not battle line unless your boss is Mooclan.
No, I mean the Squig on Great Cave Squig, the leader, the Loon boss.
Yeah. So he would make the Squig Hopper's battle line, yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it depends how you want to run it. But I think you wouldn't be able to do it that optimally. You are right though. Actually, you could run it with a Squig Jipper and then Hoppers as your battle. Yeah, Ben has been burning the candle at both ends, pumping out the videos.
Yeah, we've had to just make sure he's okay. It's okay. I printed some ships for him today. I think it's made him happy. Uncle Mike's Worldwide played on 2x3 table. One person is a group of investigators, usually 3 to 4 minis worth, about 15 points. The other player controls the lurkers. They're free to pick these from the lurker list. This ranges from cheap cultists through to deep ones, various undead. Oh my god, hiccups. And other assorted gribblies. That's more Mansions of Madness. Yeah, sorry, it's like, keep getting hiccups.
Oh
no. The lurker player has the same amount of points to spend as the value of the investigators team, but isn't tied to a particular list. Okay.
Oh yeah, Phil, I've just messaged him. So
Hopefully
we'll be able to get you an answer.
Yeah. What happened to good night? I love how your jacket sparkles because of the green screen. Yeah, Ian mentioned that. I feel like a vampire. Good night.
Shiny.
Well, like the Twilight vampire. Good night, guys. Appreciate the poke. Take care and keep the good work. Speak soon. See you later, Phil. Thanks for the follow. Good night. Hashtag bring vamps to BB2020. Well, they are there with animal savagery. Yeah. Yeah, I was tempted on the 40k side of the battle forces as well, because
Oh yeah. So what do you get with that then?
they have a few more options. The Necron one is really solid.
That's going to be really good. It's like a really good next purchase after Indomitus.
Yeah, because you get like the OG Cryptek, as in like the one that's got reworked, standard Cryptek. I think he has a fancy title now. You get some more warriors, so you're up to 30. Then you get like some immortals. You get a Night Scythe. You get a Triarch Stalker, the big walker thing. Yeah, little Tomb Spider. It's really cool. I think you also get something else. I think you get some what the melee guys aren't Lich Guard, or they might be Lich Guard. They don't have shields. You get those.
Yeah, I know very little about that.
Yeah, but no, it seems like a cool box. Tau one is really cool. I was almost tempted by that to kind of flesh out my Tau, but I haven't touched Tau in 2 years, so I thought I haven't touched them in 2 years. I'm not going to touch them now.
You're off the Tau.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Had to pop away to do some bits and pieces and dropped in here, Nightmate. Ghost with Socks is the best model so far.
I love that. I think it's massively underappreciated. By you as well, Ben.
Yeah.
You're one of the worst. Ghost hater.
Yeah, it's not.
When you look at it, seriously look at the level of detail on the face, it's incredible.
Oh no, I don't deny it's a great sculpt. I really like it. I just don't think I want it in my team.
Bear grudges do sheets.
Yeah, it's an old dwarf.
I really like the necromantic team. It's so Scooby-Doo. It's brilliant.
It is, yeah. Yeah. I'll definitely be painting that up when it arrives. Hopefully these are done by then.
Oh, missed out on the dice, sadly. I'd hoped to pre-order the dice, but
they had already gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't bother. Probably should have done if I had just give it a go, you know? Maybe.
I normally just try and do it anyway, and then if someone in the group wants them, then at least one of us managed to kind of secure some.
Yeah, definitely. That's sort of my thoughts with this team, to be fair. Like, I recently got an Old World Alliance team, because I'm going to use the human linemen to expand this. And stick some Empire heads on them.
Yeah, that'd be
cool. Yeah. Just for variety, and like, especially when you factor in, like, this stocky chap, like, he doesn't look that different to, like, a human lineman. Like, in terms of the armor, like, their armor's Zevon somehow, but like, he has as much armor as a human nun does. So, yeah. But I think they'll just fit right in, especially when the paint scheme matches. Bit of variety. It also means then I have the full nobility team, which I can move on if someone didn't have one. It might just be a regular sale at this rate. I've also got the Norba miniatures stuff coming, which is interesting.
Is that the Bretonian?
Yeah, I haven't picked what team I want yet. I don't know if it's open. I think it is. You can sort of pick which one you want. They have Bretonian and Empire. I'll probably go for the Bretonian and do like an old school team. My favourite Necron unit's the Doom Scythe, and that says your bone like a V formation of Ebony Death croissants. That was poetry, man.
Death croissants.
You had to catch me at work. At least enjoy the glory that is Gronk. Thank you, Paladin Demo.
My favourite thing with the Doom Scythes is seeing Orc players get their hands on it and turn it into a massive flying bad move.
Oh, I think I know what you're referring to.
Yeah, flip it up on its side.
That was incredible. Yeah, how is Gronk coming along, Paladin? If you submit it to Work in Progress Wednesday, I'll admit I have not watched this week's episode yet. Other battle forces as well for 40k. They had an Imperial Guard one that was pretty poor, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think the problem is at this point, it's so old now.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of Cadians.
But you compare it to some other ones, like for instance, I think the one that really was tempting me was the Chaos Space Marine one, which is like, apart from the Mauler Fiend, it's all new stuff. Like you got your brand new Space Marines, you get 10 of those. You got 5 brand new Terminators, 5 brand new Havocs, and your Lord, who's like new. And then a Mauler Fiend / Forge Fiend. Like, that's cool. You get like some new models, a really nice sort of themey force, which kind of does everything. Fun to paint. Or like the Imperial Guard one, you get like an old Chimera, 20 Guardsmen, and a Hydra, Black Battery, I think. And I think maybe a command squad. It feels like quite weedy, especially when you see the models like in the art. It feels like that box has less value than the others. Don't know what it is. Have you painted any of the Yetaro miniatures? I haven't, but the name really rings a bell. Where are they from? Hi lads, any chance of the others volumes being turned up? I can turn up, Ian. Yeah. That is great. Thank you for letting me know.
Thank you, Poopy Scoop.
Yeah.
666.
You can always rely on Poopy Scoop 666 for good advice.
Oh, here you go. Got a nice...
Hey! Thanks for chiming in, Trino string of numbers. Real life admech right there. It's fine, I have a Twitch open now, so I can get rid of that, I hope. Can I? What's her name? That.
Cheers, Poopy Scoop. He's got my back.
We can ban Trino. There we go. Aha, the power. I think it still shows up in Restream though. Unless I do that. Is that as well? I think it still shows up on the screen. Got your back, bro. Don't know Spanish, maybe. They do a pretty nice dwarf. Ah! Yes, I think I know what you're referring to. I'm going to look them up anyway before I get this wrong. I haven't painted any of their models, no. I think I remember nearly buying some. Fancy football dwarfs.
Have to narrow it down to things that you almost bought.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have seen these because they've got, yeah. There's like, they got the dwarf like sat by a keg, like drunk. Yeah, no, these are really nice. Real like hybrid of the classic style and the GW stuff. Like, it's like sort of in between Fanath and GW. Could be up more, to be honest. Still working on my lizards. Might finish them by 2021. Ready to unwrap the new box set and Necro team.
Yeah. So, have you got a Croxagort for your lizards? And if so, what did you go for? That's always the kind of the big one where the Games Workshop haven't got their version of the Crocs out yet. Annoyingly.
Funny you mention that. I'm literally have a Croxagore in the printer as we speak.
Call the technician.
It's causing a right mess. No, it's for Milton. He's.
Oh, it's the one he shared earlier.
Yeah.
What's the company called? It's a really nice model.
I think it's just a dude. It's I can't remember his name.
Is it the dude that did that massive giant?
Sort of Land Before Time-ish.
Yeah. The Parasaurolophus.
So I'm glad. I'll go with yes.
Yeah, it's got a big crest, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know dinosaur names. Ask me 15 years ago, I might have done, but
Get with the times.
Yeah.
Yes. So, the
Oh, we had a bit of robot static there. What did you say?
It's called Big Saurus.
Big Saurus. That's the one.
So that's your level of dinosaur knowledge, isn't
it? Yeah, Big Saurus. T-Rex and Indomitus Space Marine. Just finished all the Orc linemen. Moving on to Throwers now. Great. Nice one, Jordan.
Right.
Hello.
Sorry, yeah, your Twitch is frozen for me at the moment.
Is Twitch frozen?
Yeah.
Internet issues.
There we go.
We're back. Cool.
Right, I am going to make a move though.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for joining.
Early start. Pleasure. No, thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me go on.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I appreciate the company.
Cheers, and yeah, thanks everyone in the comments.
Yeah. See you later, Ian.
Nice hanging out, getting some progress done. Cheers.
Yeah, definitely.
See you later.
Bye-bye. Gonna grab the Grebozote. Yeah, I actually really like that Grebozote. And I think the price point is a really big deal as well. Like having it be literally or almost half the price is definitely not insignificant. Really looking forward to my Punga Necro team next year. Yeah, the Punga stuff is really nice. I received the Skaven this year from their Kickstarter last year. Or might be the year before. But yeah, it's man, the quality of those models is so good. And I so nearly got the Khemri this year, but at the time I ended up buying the printer over it. But all their new teams just look so good, so I might pick them up in future. It'd be good to try and get those painted up quickly. Had all the spirits a Banshee to replace the whites. Oh, okay. To be fair, you probably get away with using them. However, you make a good point. The Banshees make great proxies for the duvet. I was really hoping to finish these tonight, and I'm gonna definitely have to do another stream. Or finish them off stream, just try and blitz through them. just having to redo the armor, I think, was what did it. Just gotta blend that glaze in a little bit more. It's looking a little bit stark. Same here. Shooting off. Thanks for the stream. Really enjoyed it. Night folks. Take care. Thank you so much, Phil. Really, really appreciate you coming along. Probably be wrapping up the stream at about 11:30 anyway, just to make sure I'm up in time for tomorrow. It's not going to be another 24-hour one like last time, but I'll definitely do another 24-hour one sometime soon. Maybe for Necromantic, but no promises. What would you guys say is the best starting skill for an ogre to have when they first level up? That is a good question. I think Ben recently did a video on leveling up ogres. I would say, if you're asking me, Brawler is really good. Guard is always handy, maybe less so on an ogre team. Break tackle can be good on ogre. It's not as good as it used to be, but it's a solid shout. Grab can be good. Pretty much, I would say, for most big guys, randomly rolling strength isn't terrible. There's not many bad strength skills you can get. It may be worth saving for a double and going for block, just to start having some like real solid blockers. But if you want to start leveling guys up, rolling strength at 3 SPP is pretty good. The big guys. Pile driver is the only one which is like, ugh, you probably don't want that. Muscle progress so far, 50%. No, I'd say it's a lot more than that, Peep Scoopy. I'd say I'm probably more at 75%, 80%. It's kind of really, there's some light highlights. Like if we compare this, I still need to revarnish the armor, but I'm going to do that when it won't, you know, I can let that dry overnight. But it's kind of, there's minor highlights to do on the armor, on the cloth, sorry. I think the ribbons are all done on everyone. The blue ribbons. I think I'd finished that on the live stream. I think there's a couple actually which don't have it. So I've got to do a bit of blue. And then it's kind of feathers, wings, some skin highlights. Yeah. I'm currently trying to finish off the leathers now. Rule on big guys would have been a huge improvement if they'd stayed with rolled skills. Yeah. So you mean like just rolling a normal and then you can pick brawler? To be honest though, that in that regard it hasn't changed a huge deal because you can still pick it at 6 SPP. As it stands, you're probably just better saving for block. Honestly, yeah, I think you're right. I think getting some early, some blockers as soon as you can is probably what you want. But I still wouldn't necessarily turn down the offer of a 3 SPP quick skill kind of build into. Like strong arm is always going to be quite nice. Yes, ultimately block is really the key thing. I think we'll see less Ash 3 ogres though. Obviously on a level up, Ash is pretty good. It'll definitely help you score more. But I wouldn't advise saving up for a stat up for an ogre. Just because all the other options are pretty mediocre. Not guaranteed to get Edge. If your big guy is your only big guy, saving up for block might be a big ask in a short league, no? Yeah, sorry, I was thinking ogre team context as well. Oh, in a if it's like a big guy in like a human team, I think guard is probably your best skill. I played a human team once for a tournament roster, randomly rolled for the extra skills I bought for my players, ended up with an ogre with leap and dirty player. Oh no. Well, did he use it? You sort of got to foul with him at least once, right? Just for the hell of it, if he has dirty player. So your only chance to foul with an ogre. Yeah, in like in Nobility, I think guard is less valuable on your ogre. Somewhat, because I feel like your bodyguards really want it. And they're the guys with strength access. Whereas in like a human team, it's your blitzers with strength access who has much better things to take than guard. Fouled within one, score straight away. Yeah, as is the way. As is the way. Hope to stream this weekend. I'll have to check that out, PB Scoop. Are you painting? Playing? All renegade, all random is still the way. Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing these teams pop up. We're playing online, but I spoke those lizards. I suppose those lizards ain't gonna paint themselves. That is true. Hey, playing is the main reason why we do these things anyway, so you need to get your games in where you can. I've started on Snotlings. Need to get some trolls to go with them too, though I think I'll use some of them for Underworld as well. Yeah, good shout. Double up. The size of the bow on these blitzers is so obnoxious. Looks like a pageant or something. This gigantic bow. Mrs. Scoop has even entertained the idea of a Christmas Day game if family trip's not an option. Let the Wookiee win. It's a very applicable phrase. It's a fine line though, isn't it? It's like you don't want to beat them, but then you don't want them to think you just let them win either. I don't know. I've always been too afraid. Thanks for the follow, Sam. 16 castles. Yeah, I did a cheeky extra stream. Basically, I want to get these guys done, so I'm sort of just going to stream whenever I paint them, I think. It's not another marathon sesh. My Snotlings are on the list too. Oh, that's not looking so fun. They're on the pile of shame at the moment. Made a good start. Haven't touched them since. And thanks for the follow. It was that one. JRCO 666. Thank you. You have caught the tail end of it though. We'll be wrapping up pretty shortly. Got work in the morning. Gotta get up. Built, based, and then revised the snots out of laziness. No excuse, as they seem pretty simple to get to tame top standard. They do paint up really fast, honestly. It's actually quite satisfying to be able to just crank out those models. Thing is, though, you have so many of them. You sometimes need even more. I don't think the box comes with enough. Because you can get like swarming and riotous rookies and all that jazz. Fox comes with only one less than the maximum. Well, still not enough. I think I've got an ogre team coming. After Raj, oh, okay, so it's just one less. Okay, that's all right then. Yeah, I've got an ogre team coming tomorrow, which I'm hoping to blitz out as well. Might try and steal the Noblar from that box to go with the sort of expand out the snots. To be fair, I don't think it's a terrible shout to oh, there you go. Yeah, Gretchen from 40k as extras. Really want to Doom Diamond models. My Gretchen with binoculars is a bit of a stretch. I use the if you have any spare bits from 40k, the jetpack from the Storm Boys. It comes with like a little mini packs. Or sorry, it comes with a few mini packs. I stuck one of those on a goblin for my Doom Diver. It's a little jetpack. Yeah, I think having something different for rookies is pretty good. So I think like if you have an ogre team and a snotling team, the Noblars would make good rookies for a snotling team, and snotlings would make good rookies for a Noblar team, just to differentiate. Yeah, you can pop a link up there. That's no problem. I'll be heading off in just a minute, so we'll have a look at that, and then we'll probably finish the stream. So I barely made any progress on these guys. God damn. Sort of redid the armor and painted boots. I don't know why I'm so slow at painting. Oh man, they're looking awesome. That is a cool scheme, having them super bright. There it is. Take a quick look on it if you want. Do you mean to bring it up on stream? We have Gilliam's Snotlings here. I think it's somehow flipped upside down. Let's wow, that's done that. Let me transform this real quick. Vertical, horizontal. That's probably the wrong one. Yeah, right. Flip horizontal. Is it horizontal? No, well, clearly not. Sorry, guys. There we go. The Cornish nasty. See, that doesn't work. That doesn't work in my accent. I assume you're northern and you can go with Cornish nasties. And wow, this is a large image. You took this with a big camera. Oh, that is the wrong window. Oh, they look cool. They're really cool, man. Really, like, I love the contrast between your skin and the mushrooms here. Your pump wagons, chaotic as ever. This is cool as well, though. The fungus hoppers. It's a nice grow. Yeah, yellow is brave. Yellow is a difficult color to paint. Yeah, I've finally found a good yellow though, and that's in the Chimera yellow. Previously I was using yellow ink. But yeah, this yellow is on camera. But yeah, this yellow tends to be okay. So yeah, decent. I mean, it's still thin as hell, but that has been on the palette for a little while. But I do quite like that yellow. Alright. Plan to give them a touch up and do the wash and detailing later. That is a good shout. And yeah, like you were saying earlier, it doesn't take long at all. I've never used Army Painter yellow. I'll have to give that a try. Do always like trying new paints, because you never know what can surprise you. Yeah, no, thank you everyone for joining the stream. Gonna call it a day there. Go to bed. Appreciate all the comments, appreciate all the input. It's been great having everyone in. It's always good fun to just sit, chat, and paint. I hope you guys enjoy it as well. But yeah, take care everyone, and have a good night.